Welcome to Learn English Podcast.
Imagine this. It's 8 a.m. You're standing in a line that stretches out the door of a trendy London cafe. The person behind you is tapping their watch. The barista is moving at the speed of light, shouting, "Next, who's next?" You finally get to the front, and suddenly, every English word you've ever learned just evaporates. You point at a croissant and say, "That." The barista asks, "Do you want that warmed up?" And your brain just shuts down.
It's the cafe freeze, Mark. It happens to the best of us. People think ordering coffee is the easy part of English, but because everything moves so fast, it's actually the highest pressure.
Today, we are breaking that pressure. We are going to slow down the clock and walk through exactly what to say so you can walk into any Starbucks, Costa, or local deli with total confidence. We'll cover the polite request versus the direct command, and how to handle those annoying follow-up questions about milk and sugar.
By the time we're done today, you'll be the one helping the people behind you in line. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Learn English Podcast. I'm Mark, and I've definitely had my fair share of awkward cafe moments, especially when I'm traveling.
And I'm Olivia. I actually used to work as a barista while I was a student, so I've heard it all, the good, the bad, and the very, very confusing. I'm so excited to share the insider secrets today.
If you're trying to master real-world English, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. We're here every single day to help you navigate life in English.
Let's start with the basics. Ordering food is a conversation, not just a transaction. Let's look at why your tone matters just as much as your grammar.
So, Olivia, when I was in that cafe I mentioned earlier, I realized that my native speaker brain was on autopilot. But for a learner, a menu isn't just a list of food, it's a list of choices.
Right, and the first choice is usually the size. In a standard shop, you have small, medium, and large. But then you go to places like Starbucks, and suddenly it's tall, grande, and venti. It feels like you need a degree in linguistics just to get a caffeine fix.
It really does, but the most important thing isn't the size name, it's the structure of the sentence. A lot of learners start with, "I want," but to a native speaker, that sounds a bit like a child demanding a toy.
Exactly. We use hedging or softening phrases. Instead of, "I want a coffee," we use, "Can I get a?" the most common way to ask for something in a service setting. Example, "Can I get a medium latte, please?" "I'll have a" is a very natural, slightly more decisive way to order. Example, "I'll have a black Americano, thanks."
"I'll have" is my go-to. It sounds confident but still polite. And here's a tip. Always put the size before the drink. It's a large latte, not a latte large.
I once had a customer ask for a coffee big. I knew what he meant, of course, but it took a second for my brain to process it because our ears are tuned to hear the size first. It's like a signal that tells the barista which cup to grab.
What about the to go or for here part? In the UK, they often say stay in or take away, right?
Yes, that's a huge distinction. If you say take away in the US, they'll understand you, but to go is much more common there. To go/takeaway means you are leaving with the food or drink. Example, 2 cappuccinos to go, please. For here/stay in means you want to sit down at a table. Example, I'll have a tea for here.
I remember watching a Manchester City game once at a cafe. The place was packed, and I forgot to say to go. They gave me this beautiful ceramic mug, and I had to awkwardly sit in the corner because I didn't want to admit I'd made a mistake.
I've done that. But here's the thing. Most baristas will ask you at the end anyway. They'll say, "Is that for here or to go?" Just listen for those keywords.
But here is where it gets really tricky, the modifications. Milk, sugar, extra shots, temperature, it's a lot.
It definitely is. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all these choices, don't worry. We've actually put together a menu survival guide PDF that lists all these common milk and sizes. You can find the link in the description.
It's completely free and a great thing to keep on your phone for the next time you're in line. Save this episode too so you can listen to Olivia's pronunciation of these phrases whenever you need a refresher.
Those modifications are exactly where the conversation goes from a simple transaction to a real English workout. Think about it. You have whole milk, skimmed milk, soy, almond, oat. coconut, and that's just the starting point.
It feels like trying to solve a complex equation in your head while people are watching you. I remember trying to order a skinny latte for the first time. In my head, I kept thinking, wait, is skinny a technical term or just a description? I was so worried I'd sound silly, but it turns out that's just the standard word for non-fat milk in many places.
It really is. And the key is to keep it simple. You don't need a long sentence. You can just add it to the end of your order. Let's look at how to weave these into the conversation naturally. With type of milk, the easiest way to specify your preference. Example, a large latte with oat milk, please.
On the side, perfect for when you want to control the amount of sugar or cream yourself. Can I have the sugar on the side? An extra shot. Use this when you need that extra kick of caffeine. Can I get a flat white with an extra shot?
I've definitely needed that extra shot on Monday mornings. But Olivia, what happens when we move from the counter to a real table? Because in a restaurant, the rhythm changes. You aren't standing in a line anymore. You're sitting down, and the waiter comes to you.
That change of pace can actually be more stressful for some people because there is more small talk involved. When you walk into a restaurant, the first thing you'll hear is, "How many in your party?" or "Do you have a reservation?"
Party is such a funny word there. When I first heard it, I thought, I'm not having a party, I'm just here for a burger. But in restaurant English, party just means your group of people.
Exactly. And if you don't have a reservation, the standard phrase to use is, "Do you have a table for number?" It's simple, direct, and very polite.
I once went to a place that was so fancy they asked me if I wanted still or sparkling water before I even sat down. I panicked and said yes. The waiter just stood there waiting for me to pick one.
That's a classic. It's those little choice questions that trip people up. If that happens, just take a breath. It's okay to ask, "What was that again?" or "Could you repeat the options?"
That's a great point. Being a perfect English speaker doesn't mean never making a mistake. It means knowing how to recover when you do. And honestly, this next part about how we handle the menu once we're actually seated changed how I think about dining out completely.
Okay, let's talk about the moment the waiter comes back to the table for the third time and asks, "Are we ready to order or do we need a few more minutes?"
This is where a lot of learners get stuck. They feel pressured to order immediately because they don't know how to ask for more time politely.
Right. Most people just say no or wait, which can sound a bit blunt. The correct way, the way that makes you sound like a native speaker, is to say, "We're not quite ready yet. Could we have another minute?"
That phrase, not quite ready yet, is like magic. It's soft, it's polite, and it tells the waiter exactly what you need without any tension. Let's repeat that. We're not quite ready yet.
And here is another one that confuses everyone. The waiter asks if you'd like to hear the specials, and after they finish a 2-minute speech about a lemon-glazed sea bass, you realize you didn't understand a single word.
It happens to us too, Mark. Sometimes they talk so fast. If that happens, don't just nod and say, okay, and then order a pizza. It's perfectly fine to say, sorry, could you say that last one again? Or what was in the sauce?
I've had to ask that so many times, especially with food allergies or preferences. If you don't eat meat or if you're allergic to nuts, you have to be very clear. You can say, "Does this dish contain allergen?" Or "Is it possible to get this without the cheese?"
Is it possible to is a fantastic key to unlock modifications in a restaurant. It's much better than saying, don't put cheese on it. It sounds like you're asking for a small favor, and waiters are usually much happier to help when they feel respected.
I wish someone had told me that years ago. I used to think that being polite meant saying as little as possible. But in English, being polite actually means using more words to soften your requests.
We're covering a lot of ground today, and we hope these phrases are already making you feel a bit more at home in an English-speaking restaurant.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a second to leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening on. It's the best way to help other students find us and join the conversation.
And a huge thank you to everyone who has already left a review. We see you, and we appreciate you more than you know.
All right, we've covered the coffee shop, we've made it to the table and navigated the menu, but now comes the peak performance part of the meal, dealing with problems and paying the bill.
Stay with us because the next section has the phrases that will save you money and prevent a very awkward walk to the exit.
So, we've successfully ordered, the food has arrived, and you're just about to take that first perfect bite of your steak or pasta. Suddenly, the waiter appears out of nowhere and asks, "How is everything tasting so far?"
It's the universal law of dining. They always wait until your mouth is full to ask a question. Most learners panic and just give a thumbs up or a muffled mm-hmm.
Guilty as charged. But if you can actually speak, what's the best way to handle that? Because usually everything is fine, but sometimes it isn't.
If it's good, a simple, "It's delicious, thank you," or "Everything is great" is perfect. But let's talk about the hard part. What if your food is cold? Or what if they brought you fries instead of the salad you ordered?
That's the ultimate test of English confidence. You don't want to be the angry customer, but you also want the food you're paying for.
Exactly. The secret is to start with a softener like "I'm sorry" or "excuse me." It sounds counterintuitive to apologize when they made the mistake, but in English, it actually makes the waiter more likely to help you quickly. "I'm sorry, but I think there's been a mistake" is a polite way to bring up an issue without blaming the waiter. Example, "I'm sorry, but I think there's been a mistake. I ordered the salad, not the fries. Would it be possible to?" The best way to ask for a fix. Would it be possible to have this warmed up a little bit?
I think there's been a mistake is so much better than saying, "You gave me the wrong food." It focuses on the situation rather than the person. It keeps the vibe calm.
I remember once in a busy diner in New York, I ordered a burger medium well, but it came out almost raw. I was so nervous to say anything, but I used that exact phrase. "I'm sorry, I think this is a bit undercooked for me." The waiter was so nice about it. He took it back immediately and even gave me a free dessert for the trouble.
See? Politeness pays off, literally. But now let's get to the part everyone dreads. The end of the meal, the moment of truth, the bill.
This is where the vocabulary changes depending on which side of the ocean you're on. If you're in London, you ask for the bill. If you're in New York or Los Angeles, you ask for the check.
And if you ask for the check in London, they might look at you like you're trying to pay with a piece of paper from 1950.
True, and there's also the question of splitting. If you're eating with friends, you might not want to pay for everyone's expensive cocktails if you only had water.
Oh, splitting the bill can be an Olympic sport in some groups. What are the magic words for that?
You want to catch the waiter before they print the receipt, if possible. You can say, "Can we split the bill?" asking to divide the total cost equally. "We're paying separately," used when everyone wants to pay only for what they specifically ate. "It's on me," a very friendly way to say you are paying for everyone.
"It's on me" is my favorite phrase to hear, but my least favorite to say. But Olivia, we have to talk about tipping. It's so confusing for people traveling to the US or Canada.
It's essential. In the US, an 18 to 20% tip is standard. In the UK, it's often 10 to 12.5%, and sometimes it's already added as a service charge.
Always check the bottom of the bill for the words "service included." If it's included, you don't need to add more. If it's not, you should leave a tip. It's how the staff makes their living.
And once you've paid, a simple "thank you, have a lovely evening" as you walk out is the perfect finishing touch. It leaves a great impression and makes you feel like a total local.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the morning coffee to the late-night dinner. Let's look at our 3 big takeaways.
Number 1, use "can I get" or "I'll have" instead of "I want."
Use "I'm sorry, but" to fix mistakes politely.
And number 3, ask for the check in the US and the bill in the UK.
Write these down, or better yet, go to a cafe today and practice at least one of them. Thank you so much for sticking with us through this deep dive. Ordering food is one of the best ways to practice your English, because the reward is literally something delicious to eat.
Curious? Tomorrow we're switching gears. We're talking about telephone English, how to handle calls when you can't see the other person's face. It's a bit scary, but we've got your back.
Don't forget to follow us on YouTube for more of these lessons.
See you tomorrow, everyone.
Bye.